So the police in Texas get into it with this 40 some odd year woman. I don't know how old she was. Talking about the woman was crazy or whatever, but she never caused any real trouble. Police, who actually lived in that apartment complex just like she did, tries to arrest this woman, scuffles with her, pulls out his taser. You know, she hits the ground. He's hitting her. Pulls out his taser, tries to tase the woman. She knocks the taser away. And so, I don't know, she has a taser and she's pointing it at him, which I highly doubt. But she's screaming the whole time, she's pregnant, she's pregnant. She doesn't want to get arrested, obviously. And she's resisting arrest. And we all know that if you resist being kidnapped by these cops, then they have carte blanche to use excessive force. Just because you don't want to go, and a lot of times, especially now, we see that they're kidnapping, people, and they've done absolutely nothing wrong. We've seen videos of this, and if you resist, if they tell you to get out the car or turn around or get on the ground and you say no, that's automatic resisting. Even though you can clearly say, why? What have I done wrong? What law or what statute? They don't even try to go through that anymore. They just skip right over that. Then you say, well, I have rights, and there was like, you have no rights. We've seen them tell, they recently, shot a guy. And the cop, told him he had no right to speak to a supervisor. So we're just seeing everything Dr. Martin Luther King fought for being thrown out the window. Anyway, so this police officer stands over this woman and discharges his weapon 5 times. And they said one time hitting her. No, I think all 5 of them. He was at point blank range. It wasn't even 3 feet between them, and that service revolver doesn't have such a strong kick like a Desert Eagle or something like that you're going to miss, all those shots at 3 feet away from you, especially from somebody who's trained to, commit these atrocities. And immediately they're saying that they're not charged, so they're saying that this is justified. Then they're questioning if the woman was pregnant or not. Now, we've had situations where women say they're pregnant and they're not. But unless you are a medical doctor, or unless you have you're in some type of profession where you have keen knowledge, where you can look at a woman and know that they're pregnant or not. You can just look at her. You don't know what trimester they're in. You don't know how many months, how far they are along. You don't even know if it's possible if this individual can be pregnant unless this is your practice. This is what you've been doing for years. The way they move, whatever, something. You can tell us something that this person isn't pregnant. Other than that, it is a double homicide. And that's that. It's not you were in danger, because what was he in danger of? What was life-threatening? See, I'm all for people protecting themselves. I'm all for police officers protecting themselves. I'm all for that. Because this is a dangerous world. I am all for humans, just a basic human right, to protect themselves. I'm all for people protecting themselves against the police. I am with that 100%. You do not have the right to just pull me out of a car and just shoot me and say, hey, let's see, what can I make up? You made a bad move. This actually happened. I think it happened in Baltimore, where a man was slain because an officer said he made a move. No other detail other than that. Or I drew the wrong weapon. We've seen this on more than one occasion. Had an elderly officer do this to a person. He drew his service revolver instead of the taser, and he said, oh, I meant to draw the taser. And did not apologize. Him and his family got on TV and said how, long they've been in the service and how grateful they are of this man's work. But nonetheless, you slew someone. No. You're hiding behind lies. And we've seen just terrible, heinous crimes committed by the people who are supposed to be serving and protecting. And we realize that we are not the people you're serving and protecting. Not when you can slay so many of us and then automatically say, the next day, it was justified. We killed a pregnant woman. Did you know she was pregnant? And what weapon did she have that made it life-threatening? This woman laying on the ground, flailing her arms, who did not even have a weapon in her hand. What was life-threatening to you, the police? Life-threatening. Your life was in danger. You were in danger of getting kicked in the shin. Okay, fine. You were in danger of, getting kicked in the nuts. Okay, fine. But life-threatening is the only time when you're supposed to use your service revolver. What was life-threatening about this situation? Your life. You were going to die. You knew it. It was impending doom. You knew you were going to die. It was either them or you, and you chose you, which anyone should do. What was life-threatening about this woman laying on the ground telling you she's pregnant and putting her hands in the air trying to protect her? What? See, we are no longer human to these people. I don't even think we ever were. And our basic human rights are being taken away by these so-called police officers. They're not even police officers. A police officer is supposed to be voted in. We did not vote for them. These, I don't know what they are. They are, I'm not sure what they are. They're a security force. They're committing acts of terrorism. And please don't tell me that you're not terrorists when you were shooting pregnant women, when you're killing babies, children. You're firing at a van full of children. This happened. See, I'm not talking about things, I'm not speculating. I'm talking about things that actually happen, that the police are actually doing. These are not police officers. These are hired goons. They're a hired security force. That's what they are. That do not adhere to the federal law. And the federal government is not making them adhere to the federal law. The court system isn't even making them do it. Listen, we just seen a 22-year-old man sleeping in his car executed. This just happened a couple weeks ago. Executed by 6 officers, like a firing squad. Just something straight out of some fourth world country 150 years back. Just a firing squad. And it was speculated that he had a gun. There's no put your hands in the air. There's no, the whole protocol is just left out. There's no put the weapon down. There wasn't even a verification that there was a weapon. And even if there was, there's a protocol that goes with people who have weapons. It's not gun, shoot, and kill. We've seen this over and over and over. We realize that black lives do not matter. They don't. They don't. We're done with the charade. We don't matter. We know this. We don't matter. And there's just going to be more and more. I mean, this is a heinous, a woman and a child. This is a heinous crime on this. This is a barbaric crime. It took all the wind out of my sails. You know, I have nothing left. I am completely empty when it comes to so-called law enforcement. They are not enforcing the law. They are sanctioned killers. That's it. And I don't care if you've done it or not. The fact is you can and can get away with it. And we're supposed to go about our day as if nothing ever happened. Well, I'm sorry. Killing children, which is what the sanctioned these terrorists are doing. They're killing children. And you know, whether this woman was pregnant or not, he didn't know. And we've seen where they actually kill children. These people are terrorists. And I hope the angels of the Lord take them off of this planet. Black people in America don't have a standing army, so we can't do anything. Even if we, you know, decided to, look, we fought back the best way we could. Civil rights movement. And you see what they did to us then and since then. They're still lynching and doing all that other stuff. We are never going to be equal in America. We're not even considered Americans. They tell us constantly to get out of a country that they invaded and slew the original progenitors of this land, the original occupants of this land. They slew them in mass numbers and then act like it never happened and want to remind us of Auschwitz. I don't give a damn about Auschwitz. I don't give not one damn about Auschwitz. I don't go see none of your stinking movies. I could care less about Auschwitz. Has nothing to do with me. That was white people killing white people for white people reasons. Had nothing to do with not one black soul. Now, I want to also say this. I don't hate all law enforcement. I hate the ones who do these crimes, and I hate the ones who allow these crimes to exist and allow the criminals to go free. For the justice, for those who are in the Justice Department and bring these people actually to justice, I thank you. You know, because there have been some who have, you know, been put behind bars. Not as long as it would be as if a black man, you know, or a black woman, you know, defended themselves against one of these rogue assassins and, you know, got the upper hand on them, and they're the one who passed away. They get sentenced to life without parole. And this is what I would like to see happen to these terrorists, you know. Because that's what they're doing. They're starting and they're striking and they're continuing fear in a country that should have been done with. We're supposed to be the example. We're not an example to the world. We're supposed to be an example to the world. We're not. We're not an example of good. I don't care what you put on. I don't care. We're the opposite. Just because we're not destabilized yet doesn't mean that we're a shining example of what the world's supposed to be. We're not. Just because we take and rob and pillage what we want doesn't mean that we are God's country, because this country is godless. Look at our women. Just look at them. I mean, just look at what the presidents have done, Obama included. You took God out of the schools. No more God. You can't even mention God around it. I go out and hold a sign that said Jesus saves, and I'm afraid for my life every day that I do it. I'm afraid for my life every day. But every day that I do that, and I see the police go by, I think one of these days. And I'm scared. So I don't do it as often. Because you people are godless. And all of you police officers, Amber Geiger, all of you, the ones who killed Tamir Rice, the ones who killed Johnny Gamage, and on through the past, all of you are going to pay for what you've done. You're going to pay for it. All of you who are murdering people in secret, you're all going to pay for what you've done. You want to be godless? Well, you have to die. And when you do die, because you can't live forever, no matter what these people tell you, no matter what the media, Fox News, or whatever you're thinking, when you go ahead and commit these heinous crimes that are against the word of God, whatever you're conjuring in your head, whatever anger that you have, whatever spirit that convinces you that this murder you're committing is okay, is going to leave you when you pass on. All that anger and that righteousness that you think you have, and you can run to some Catholic church and do 100 Hail Marys, just like the priest of Rome, wrote the Magna Carta and say, I absolve you of all your sins. The fake Catholic priest, the archdiocese, the priest who wanted the power over Rome. So you would castigate the emperor and tell people to go on these crusades. So many crusades happened. Even the children went on the children's crusade. It's how blindingly stupid they were. I absolve you of all your sins. Guess where they are today? Guess. In a devil's hell. And you who follow in their footsteps, you'll be in the same place. So I do not have an issue with all police, but I don't know who's good and who's bad. So I don't like none of you. I don't know any of you. I don't want to know any of you. When I have an issue, I usually don't call the police unless I have to. But I'm warning you. You're not going to Hail Mary your way out of the judgment that's going to befall you. You murdered that woman and child, as far as we know, in cold blood. Amber murdered Bosom John in cold blood. She knew she didn't live there. And we're just tired of seeing it. And I hope the angels of the Lord really show you who has the power. I hope they show up and remove you from this planet. I hope they make an example out of you, you criminals, you murderers. I hope they clean up the police force. I wish we could believe in the police again, but we don't. We don't. We get the point. You're killing pregnant women now. You don't need to tell us anything else. We get it. And automatically this person is not charged. We get it. We're done. We don't need the march. We don't need to write Congress. We don't need to petition. We don't need to Black Lives Matter. We pregnant women now, we get it. It's you win. Our prayers have changed. We are no longer praying for you. We are no longer praying that you stop your evil ways. We are no longer praying, for your blessings. You're killing children and pregnant women, and there's nothing left to pray for you about. You are evil. And this kind of evil, you cannot pray for it and fix. This is the Pharaoh type of evil. He had a hard heart against God's people, and there was nothing he could do. He could not change, and that's what you people are. And like I said, this is not all police officers, because all police officers don't do this. But for the ones that do, for the ones that are killing people in secret, like that woman in New York, or like those two people in Columbus, Ohio, that were Black Lives Matter people, you won't live forever. And the Lord will have his day with you. And you will bow before him. Regardless of what evil spirit is telling you whatever, you will bow before him. And him and his holy angels are going to be standing there looking at you. And there's not one damn thing that you can do about it. Listen, you won't have no weapons. You will not be surrounded by friends. There will not be a court system there in your favor. You will not have family there. You will not be clothed. You will be naked on your face before God, an angry God, and his army ready to throw you into a burning fire with a bunch of angry souls and every kind of ferocious, atrocious, just creatures imaginable. Worms that never die. Snakes constantly biting and eating. And they are going to feast on your flesh forever and tear your soul to bits. We tried to pray for you. We tried that. You beat up our women. And you raped them. You set us on fire. You hosed us down. You did everything to us. And we forgave you. Because we fear the Lord. But you have exhausted every bit of forgiveness that we had. We tried to call you our brothers in the Lord. Toss that to the side too. Everything we did to try to fit in. We were in your military. We fought in your wars. I'm ex-military. My brother, sister, nephew, my father. All ex-military, Army strong. We did everything to fit in. We followed your rules. You burned our churches. You celebrated a man who killed 9 people in one of our churches. And then you went and burned down more of our churches. And then after that, a police officer went in broad daylight and shot up a church full of people. Just start shooting through the window. I have no more prayers. You blew up a church. You literally blew it up with move bombs. You